Hey guys. Wow, thank you. I don't know why we have a couch up here. It's kind of crazy. But how's everyone doing? All right, great. My name is Robatia. I'm the Chief Product and Strategy Officer at Limelight. We're an e-commerce and billing management platform. It's a unique combination. We've been around for 10 plus years now, done $4 billion in GMV last year. Mostly we've been serving these sophisticated business owners who have tried crazy marketing tactics to make a ton of money. Our clients tend to range between $5 to $300 million in revenue. We are the company that nobody really has heard of. So I'm here to talk about a few things, a few tactics that you guys can deploy in your businesses, e-commerce brands. We have over 400 partners today. We have 2 premium partners here. Wanted to just give a shout out to those guys. Push Live, the leading call center solution. So can we get a round of applause for those guys? And then we have Continuum. It's the marketing production solution and end-to-end digital agency. So please, just one more round of applause for Continuum. Thank you. All right. So, besides talking about the tips and tactics that you guys can deploy in e-commerce, I want to make sure, if you stay with me, I have 30 minutes, if you stay with me through the course, I'll make sure you get at least 2 free gifts, ranging from $50 to, I don't know, thousands of dollars. So stay with me. And before we talk about that, I get very passionate. I'll be in the zone. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. But before we get into that, let's do this exercise. I was at a conference called Recur Revenue 2 weeks ago. And the lady at the stage, she did this, and it was really helpful. So we'll try this. Everybody, close your eyes. Put your hands on the tabletop or wherever, just in front of you. Close your eyes. We're good? All right, take a deep, long breath. Now let it go, heavy sigh. All right, keep your eyes closed. Do it one more time. Close your eyes, take a long, deep breath in. Heavy sigh, let it out. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Long, deep breath in. All right, let it out, heavy sigh. There you go, open your eyes. Okay, how many of you feel worse than you felt 30 seconds ago? Not really, okay, so it worked. All right, good. So, since we're interacting, we're having a live moment here. Let's talk about, let me show of hands if you've heard of these brands here. I want to see how many people have heard of these brands. Oh my God, all of you. All right, good. I expected that. Well, look, we know why these brands are successful, right? They're selling more than a product. They're selling a service, right? And the way they're selling that service is through these amazing, delightful experiences all around. It doesn't matter if you buy the product through a store, through Instagram, through Facebook, whatever it might be, you get that consistent, delightful experience. You feel good about it. That's one of the reasons these brands are successful. These guys are data-driven leaders. They understand their customers, right? They're not just selling products, for the most part, not even selling products on Amazon. They've built their relationship with the customers, and they're using that towards being able to sell those products. And of course, they have, sometimes it's more than just a product and service. They're purpose-driven brands. Now let's talk about, I want to see, show of hands if you've heard of any of these brands. All right, I see 2 people. Exactly, right? Let's just call these brands as unknown brands, right? And the brands that you saw before, these brands are known brands. Just kind of frame of reference when we talk about these things. So the unknown brands, I got to tell you, these guys are doing about 3 to 5x in revenue compared to their digitally native known brand counterparts. Isn't that amazing? Now, what is the reason? Why are these brands so successful that you haven't even heard of? Of course, they're selling great, amazing products. Product-wise, it's the same product. They are not too crazy about customer experience, but they do deploy conversion-based optimization tactics when they're selling the products. They understand their customers, and they're trying to use those understanding and the data points towards selling the customers, right? Now, I think we got to use best of both of these worlds to be able to be successful. So if you were to think about e-commerce, you can distill e-commerce into really one big problem, which is it's expensive to acquire and retain customers. Do you agree with me? Yeah? Okay. It's expensive to acquire and retain customers. But if you have figured out the customer's lifetime value, and if you can make that customer's lifetime value greater than your CAC, cost of acquisition, not just greater, 3 to 5 times greater, you're good. right? Your business is good. And if you can't, that's where the challenges come in, right? So the known brands, the BarkBox and the Birchbox, those brands, they look at the retention through brand equity. They drive retention through brand equity and brand loyalty and customer experience. The unknown brands, they try to optimize every touch point that the customer has across the funnel. And we'll talk about funnels in a little bit. Every touch point that the customer has towards conversion. And conversion means revenue. So the unknown brands are very revenue focused, right? And contrary to popular beliefs, you could be customer first and still be revenue focused. So we'll talk a little bit about what the unknown brands do that you guys can take as some of the tips and tactics. They follow this concept of golden funnel. We're going to talk about golden funnel. How many of you have heard of funnels, sales, e-commerce funnels, not just marketing funnels? Oh, wow. Man, I'm amazed. You guys kind of threw me off. I had no idea that this is that popular. I'm a big believer in funnels. I think funnels are what websites used to be back in 2005. They're essential. You got to have it. Doesn't matter if you're selling, if you're B2B, B2C, selling physical product, digital product, you got to have a funnel. In a nutshell, a funnel would be a path that you have your traffic go through. Your site, your social channels, your paid channels, and the end goal is either a conversion or retention or just a referral, whatever it might be. You have an end goal, and it's the path that you're taking that user to, right? Let me give you an example. This is the golden funnel. Well, actually, this is a funnel. This is not as aggressive as it could get. This is a decent-sized funnel. It's got all the elements of, trigger elements that will help a user kind of maneuver the path with the end goal that is conversion. But if you look at this funnel is a live funnel that has done about $100 million in revenue for a bunch of our clients. And it's very simple when I break it down, right? If you look at it, on the left you've got all the traffic sources, right? You're sending all the traffic to a launch page or an offer page. And think of an offer page as something where the user comes in and user buys the product, right? For the most part, it tends to be websites. And I'm going to debunk that it shouldn't be a website or a web store all the time. But call it a launch page or a lander. Then you get to, once the user has bought an item through checkout, then you throw a couple of upsells or downsells, whatever it might be, right? Once the user has bought or haven't bought the upsell, then you give a thank you page and throw an offer wall. Offer wall meaning related products. Amazon does it pretty well, right? Everybody familiar with this approach, right? But you'd be surprised, a lot of businesses are still not following this kind of tactical path towards the funnel. So what we're going to do in the upcoming slides is we're going to go through each and every step and figure out how do we optimize these steps, these touch points that the customer has. The most important piece of the funnel is really a landing page. Contrary to popular beliefs, you don't need a fancy, complicated website or web store that takes 20 plus seconds to load. What you need is a landing page, a very simple, non-distracted landing page. When the user comes to, from YouTube or other search channels or whatever it might be, don't just send that user to a website. Don't show them all the founder story and whatnot. That's good for brand equity, but if your goal is conversion, which it should be, you got to send the user to a simple page that loads within less 2 to 3 seconds, right? Now, if you come to this page, if you see, there's nothing else that the user can do besides click on the buy button. Yes, there are some pseudo call to actions around, hey, can I buy it one time? Can I buy it more than once on a subscription basis? Can I buy one bottle or more bottles? But essentially, the user has to buy it. That's the only action. Yes, you have some other information about benefits of the product, which is good, but that's a very simple funnel. Show them the offer and nothing else, right? This is another example, which is even leaner. You don't even have, on the left side, you don't even have the benefits. All it does is take the traffic, put them on this page, and all they have to do is just buy it, right? Another example, this is a long form page. If you know what a long form content page is, you do have, so on the navigation bar you see on the right side, you do have reviews and FAQs and bundles and ingredients, but it's one page. It's text heavy, few static images, nothing fancy going on. Again, the CTA, same CTA is embedded above the fold and below the fold. So when you're going from top to the bottom of the page, all you're seeing is the same call to action. And when you click on that boom, you got to provide the shipping and billing details. That's the concept of landing page. Much faster, much easier. That was the first tip. Now when we talk about sending traffic to a landing page through this funnel, what kind of traffic do you want to send? Of course, don't just send any traffic, send good traffic. And that's where pre-targeting, a term that I coined just now, and retargeting will come into play. We'll talk a little bit about that. Display ad retargeting has gotten such a bad rep in the industry. And show of hands if you have been creeped out by an ad that followed you several weeks after you clicked on a product once. It's crazy, right? Okay, how many of those people who raised their hands actually ended up buying that product? Okay, 1, 2, all right. So it's not working, right? And display ad retargeting isn't working because, not that it's not a good tactic, it's not working because the way it's implemented, it's lazy, right? You're showing the same generic message to every user. You gotta create cohorts, you gotta create segments, and then display, very custom, very targeted message to that particular user. If I go to buy something, I'm looking at a product, and I just viewed the product, I don't want to see the same product for the next several weeks. Maybe I want to see the benefits of the product. Maybe I want to see a testimonial that the user has given. Help me engage with the content before you send me to a buy page, right? So that's retargeting. Talking about pre-targeting, a pretty important concept that we have a lot of our clients use, let's call it pre-landers. So lander is something which is an offer page, which is the final kind of destination that you drive the traffic to. Pre-lander is an intermediate step that you provide to that traffic so they can engage with the product. This is, again, a content-heavy page. You can provide testimonials and benefits and all of that stuff. And in that page, you're providing call to actions to get to that buy page. Ryan from Digital Market does it pretty well, where he has VSLs or video content where he talks about the benefits of why you should join his membership, right? And when you click on the labs, join labs today, that's where you provide all the details and you're good to go. All right, well, before I go there. So again, you can combine landing pages and pre-landers together, create a long form, create them separately, whatever. There's a term in our business, #ABT, always be testing. Test out different things, see what works, see what doesn't work, but definitely test out different things. Let's talk about a few other things. We live in a hyper-connected world. Everything is now. If you are not kept in the loop, if you're not in the know, you feel left out. That's a primitive desire, right? It's psychology. So when you're creating these landing pages, creating these pre-landers, think about these things. Show someone that the product is exclusive. Show someone that the product is selling fast, cupcakes, right? Show them that it's not going to last long. Create that, put that fear of missing out tactic on that page. Slap it on the landing page, right? Better yet, sprinkle a little bit of money-back guarantee on top of it. People love to take risks. People love the idea of taking risks. Right? They want to take risk when they know that they can return this product if it doesn't work out. So definitely put that money-back guarantee, right? The third tip, believe it or not, your customers can sell your product better than you. That's just a fact, right? We have some numbers, I just don't remember the numbers, but they can sell the product better than you. So if you have social proof, if you have reviews about the product, if somebody has used the product and you have favorite positive reviews, even if you have negative, try and work on them and get positive. But if you have reviews, show them on the landing pages. Help the customer through that path to get to the conversion. Fourth and final point, now we're in 2019 now. I think it was 70%, Forrester said, about 70% of the digital media activity is happening on mobile devices. So if your website, if your landing pages are not mobile optimized, you got a big problem. So you got to do that. Right? And it can be 20 seconds. It can be 22 seconds. Attention span tends to be around 2 to 3 seconds. Try and build those simpler landing pages where you can get the page load up in 2 to 3 seconds, and boom, you're on the go. Right? Another tactic I want to talk about is live chat. Live chat could be a game changer if you think about businesses and selling your products. Close to 50% of the users say that once they've experienced the live chat, they're more likely and inclined to make a purchase. That's huge, right? And it's not just about increasing conversion. It's also about helping the user from a refund and chargebacks and returns, should that ever happen, right? So definitely deploy live chat. And it's also the way you implement a live chat. There are tools. If you're doing that, do it smartly, meaning use logic-based triggers. If I go to a website, and if I'm trying to look at if I'm expanding the customizable option and I open up the live chat, don't just ask me, hey, Ro, how's it going? Ask me, do I need help with picking a product? Because I've been already clicking and giving you signals what I need help with, right? So live chat. Again, goal is to create a frictionless experience for the user to go through that funnel and result in that conversion. And while you're going through that funnel, it's all about telling that story. You need to tell the user that you know that user pretty well, and you have curated something, a solution for that user. So bundle products. Bundle is huge, and it could be a pre-bundle, it could be a dynamic way to allow the user to create bundles for themselves. Every company that you think about is either trying or tested the bundles in one way or the other. BarkBox, Barchbox, and whatnot. Right? Or I messed it up, but BarkBox and Birchbox and whatnot, right? So create bundles. And once a user has bought the product, show them upsells, show them downsells, show them cross-sells. 30% of the revenue is coming from upsells and cross-sells. You know, she just bought a product. She's happy. She's excited that she's going to receive something. She's in a buying spree. Show her more products. Don't just give up on just, hey, all right, we're done. No, no, no. Give them 2 or 3 upsells. Test it out. What works, what doesn't work, right? And so that's where the purchase psychology comes in. So, you know, the sad news is you're going to do all of that. Yes, the goal is to drive towards a conversion. You will get a lot of users converted. The sad truth is, the reality is, 70% of the users that actually made it to the cart still abandon the cart, right? And that's where you need tactics like email retargeting, text-based retargeting, and now you have Facebook messengers and whatnot. So many things you can do. And how do you do it? If you have that information, right? That's where I'm suggesting you do this 2-step checkout. A lot of our clients tend to use this tip. You know, contrary to popular belief that fewer steps you have towards the checkout, better it is. Not really. You know, try this method where you divvy up the shipping and billing address. Shipping address and billing, the payment details, in 2 different steps. Now, if the user comes to your landing page, adds all the items, abandons the cart, it's not a total loss. You still have the email, you still have the text, a phone number. You can retarget them, give them coupons, whatever it is. Show them the path, bring them back to the funnel, and convert them. Right? This is another example. Honest Paws, a company that sells CBD-based dog products, I actually use it. Pretty decent product. You can't probably see it, but just under the Checkout Now button, it's pre-selected. It says you can now target these guys via text messages, which is amazing, right? So deploy this method, test it out, see if it works. All right, so this was one giveaway that I wanted to. This is a live drip campaign that has been working for our clients. It's gotten to 20% conversion, which if you guys have run drip campaigns, it's crazy big, right? So definitely give it a shot. I wouldn't call it super aggressive. It's decent. You get 3 emails a day of purchase, but definitely give it a shot. And definitely make sure have tools or some kind of services that allows you to automatically create these drip campaigns. Don't be manually sending out emails to the users who just abandon your cart, right? Another example, this is, I tried Ritual. Everybody knows Ritual. Another kind of gotcha here. Don't be too quick and eager to offer coupons and discounts. Don't give them discounts right away just because they left the cart. Be a little bit more persistent. Ritual did it where they offer, if you leave the cart, they offer $7 off. The buyers today are pretty savvy. They can game the system. And this is the point where I'll give you a little secret, and you might make $50 out of it. How many of you guys are using Amazon membership, Prime? All of you, of course. All right, all of you. So you got to do this after this session. Go to your Amazon Prime membership and cancel it. And they're not going to let you go that easy. Just like Facebook, they're going to guilt trip you. Oh my God, you're going to miss all these products that you've been buying and whatnot. Don't worry about it. Still go ahead and click cancel, and they'll ask you a reason. Say it's too expensive. Right then and there, chances are, I would say 75%, they will try and offer you either 25% off, or they'll say, pay for 2 years in advance and we'll give you 50% off. That's your money. And if they don't do it, still go ahead and cancel it, and I bet you in 4 to 7 days, you're going to get an email that, hey, we understand you, you've been with us for a while, and we're going to give you 50% off to bring you back. So that's your $50, $60, whatever these days Amazon membership costs. You'll get it back. I tried it, and 20 plus friends tried it. It worked. So do that. Again, going back to the golden funnel, we went through each and every step. There were tips and tricks that we talked about. Try those tips and tricks. It might work, it might not, but again, #ABT, always be testing. Try out different things, try out what works. Your goal should be a conversion, which will lead to revenue. Okay, you've gotten to the end of the funnel. You've gotten this user. And once a customer, always a customer. Not really, right? Because once a customer, always a customer doesn't hold true anymore. This is a relationship. You gotta keep working at it. You gotta provide the ongoing value. You have to have a great customer experience. This is literally a relationship. You gotta be able to listen to the other side. You gotta have membership portal, live chat feature. If the other party, in the relationship, if the user is not happy, you gotta provide her with options so that she can communicate with you why she's not happy, right? This is a relationship. You gotta create mystery with viral contests and whatnot, loyalty, referral programs, create new highs in that relationship. Of course, you gotta have an ongoing value from a product perspective. And the truth is, you will do that. And how do I know that you will do it? Because everybody does it. Everybody will do all of those things that we just talked about because it's so tangible. Everybody knows how to run their business and they know the value of a retained customer. So you will do all of those things that we just talked about. But this whole conference is about beyond the box, so we got to think outside the box. These are the things that we're going to talk about now that a lot of brands are not even thinking about, and that is involuntary churn. Now, did you know that 20% of the churn that you guys are facing today is involuntary? Meaning your customers didn't even want to leave you, but they left because of freaking operational and payment issues, right? So that's where I call a leaky bucket, where you have a bucket, you have these leaks, and the unknown brands have made sure that those leaks are patched up, but a lot of the brands that we think about, they haven't even thought about it. So when you think about involuntary churn, the first service or first recommendation I would have is a cart updater or an account updater solution. You might think that credit card comes with an expiry date and there's nothing you can do about it. No, there's something you can do about it, which is use these services. Use a service like a card updater, account updater, which will automatically change your subscriber's detail if the card is expired. It'll modify it, expired, lost, or stolen. Or even if there's a new EMV chip-based card, it'll take care of all of that. Don't send out an email. Netflix used to do it. Don't send out an email to the end user saying, "Here, your card expired. We couldn't rebill you. Why don't you enter the new card details?" Oh, you're kind of poking the bear. You're now giving me options. I haven't thought about it. Maybe I should check out Amazon Prime or Hulu. Don't. Just find a service that can automatically do it. In fact, don't even let the user think. Let the user keep getting the beloved subscription boxes that you guys are selling, right? The fun fact here, out of 100 cards, about 4 to 5 cards need updates every time there's a rebill. And out of those 4 to 5 cards, 80% of them actually rebill successfully. For our merchants, 4 to 5% of subscription rebilling could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So keep that in mind. Another tactic here that a lot of unknown brands have been using is dunning. Have you heard of dunning? People know about dunning a little bit? Okay. In the most simplistic form, dunning is collection of failed payments. If the payment failed, how do you collect the money through that, right? And our merchants, I gotta tell you, they've gotten it down to a science of how they can get higher rebill rates, higher approval on those rebills, right? I say try once, try twice, and try 3 times, and more. Still don't give up. You wanna be able to, even if the card is on auto pay or the subscription is on auto pay, that doesn't mean that the card might not get declined. It can still get declined. The payment can decline because of network outages, credit card limits, and whatnot. That's where you need a service which can help you to provide rules. And I'll give you an example. Friday between 2 to 4 p.m. EST is the best time to process your rebills. The approval rates are the highest, right? So better yet, if you're starting up, use an AI-based service. You don't even have to think about it. There's 70 plus parameters that these guys are going to look at, all the way from card type, bank, time of the day, week of the month, all of that stuff, and they'll basically get higher approval rates. We've seen brands doing 35 to 50% in approval rates. It's crazy, right? So here's another template. Again, like I said, Friday between 2 to 4 p.m. EST, that's when the approval rates are really high. And once you've done it, and if you failed at it, give it 2 to 3 days, give a break, and then retry it again. So that's another template for you. Another tactic is, this is the last piece of the leaky bucket, if you will, right? Which is refunds, chargebacks, and fraud. Believe it or not, refunds are actually helpful when it comes to customer relationship. You're giving them an option to downgrade. You're giving them an easy option if they really want to cancel. And like I said, these are the options you want to give to an end customer to be hearing what they're saying and then reacting to it, right? So provide that option either through live chat, membership portal, whatever it might be. And make sure that the refunds are getting directly to the card, right? Chargeback, one of those things that every business is scared about. Nobody really thinks too much about it. Either it's a little bit too geeky or it's not that big of a problem right now. But chargeback is something when a customer disputes a charge, right? And the sale is reversed. Fraud, of course, everybody talks about anti-fraud and address verification and all of that basic stuff. So the 20% involuntary churn that I talked about, the second most prominent reason in fraud is friendly fraud. This is when you have actually shipped the item, a person has received it, and they're still calling, calling the bank and saying either I did not receive the item or I did not authorize the transaction. So make sure you're protected by services that can help you with that. Screen out the risky transactions that are highly likely to result in a chargeback or cancellation. That's one. Second, if you've gone through it, now use services like 3D Secure to pass the liability to the issuing bank, if you've gotten that. And worst come, if you still receive a chargeback, have something like a chargeback representative or chargeback fighting service that can help you understand what this is and help you to fight that chargeback. Right? So I can, my clock is ticking now. I can talk about this stuff all day, spend hours on these slides. Unfortunately, I'm only allowed to talk about 25, 30 minutes. Just to kind of quickly summarize, we talked about three major things, but we gave tips and tactics of the unknown brands that they have used and they've raked in money, a ton of money, right? Revenue focus. So optimize your landing pages. Don't be focused on the website. Optimize your landing pages through the conversion rate optimization tactics, right? All the way from FOMO tactics to money back guarantee and all of that stuff. Then try and increase the average order value. Every touch point that the customer has with your brand through the funnel, try and streamline that. Again, cart abandonment, use two-step checkout process and retarget these guys. On the recurring revenue, the leaky bucket side, make sure you have account updater, cart updater, these kind of services. You have dunning down. Use AI-based dunning so you don't have to think too much about it. And of course, mitigate your fraud. Do some fraud prevention, use the services. Right, yeah, that was it. I kind of went through it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I only have a minute and 12 seconds now, so any questions? If I can't answer your questions right now, we're at booth 509. Happy to spend more time with you, and let me know if you have any questions right now. I'm happy to answer it too.
Awesome. Thank you, Ro.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks.
No, I just want to make sure, does anybody have any questions for Ro? I'll come back with the mic to you.
No?
No? Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very much.